fundamentals here are essentially the same. The core avatar is what we would call it, or the desire is I still want to hit my protein goals. The mechanism is still 99% cod, packed in its own juices, no oil, no brine, right? Mechanism is still the same. Now, the awareness level is also still the same, but where we go deeper is into the specific sub-avatars. And what you'll notice here is we're focused on things that actually play a big difference and actually help us write better ads, like experiences and behaviors and emotions rather than demographics, okay? It doesn't mean that demographics can't work and you can't use demographics in your ads, but most of the time, the fact that somebody lives in California doesn't really matter that much unless you're trying to sell bathing suits in like October. Then yeah, California is going to be sunny and it probably matters. But at the end of the day, the first sub-avatar that I've actually built is a GLP-1 user. Now, why are we going after GLP-1 users? Well, they don't have a big appetite anymore, so eating a lot of calories is kind of hard. They forget to eat, and maybe they've lost a little bit of interest in food because again, they're suppressing their appetite. They don't do a lot of resistance training. They're worried about muscle loss, and they're having a hard time meeting protein goals. Now, the angle for this avatar specifically is to get high protein with a low appetite. Now, you'll notice the angle is just a slightly more specific version of the desire, right? Which means we're actually considering the desire and we're actually going deeper to specify it towards this person. Now, the authority is really focused here on this 18 grams for 70 calories. This person doesn't have a big appetite. They need to get their protein, and it's really hard to get protein because usually you have to eat a lot of calories to get it. But here, our authority is like, hey, you can get a lot of protein for a small amount of calories. Now, valence and intensity down here is something that I've added, and this says pending. I'll show you what I mean by that towards the end. But I wanted to show you this because now we've gotten a little bit more specific. And now when I go to write my ad, I actually have an idea of who this person is, what they're going through, maybe some of their objections as well. I didn't add that in this video, but one of my favorite things to do as well is think about the objections that this person might have, because sometimes the best copy is just addressing objections, especially for more product aware markets. But here, as we take a look at it, here's the first ad that we made. The first ad says, you stopped being hungry, your muscles didn't. 18 grams of protein, 70 calories, 0 oil, wild caught Atlantic cod. Now, you'll notice here that this headline speaks so much more to this specific avatar. And this is going to resonate with someone who is not as hungry anymore, right? Like someone who's on GLP-1. Now, I'm not calling out GLP-1 specifically. Now, could I do that? Yes, that is a different type of execution. And that's the most important thing that I need you guys to understand. Again, this one headline that I wrote or this one static ad doesn't mean that that sub avatar isn't there. And that angle of getting a lot of protein and a low appetite isn't there. You have to at least run through 3, 4, or 5 different types of ads until you actually figure out, hey, maybe this is an angle that's not worth pushing, or hey, I need to do more of this style of execution. And that's the thing that I think so many of you guys are looking for, is you're looking for this repeatable pattern, this repeatable system of like, hey, how do I know that I've made too many ads for this angle and I need to move on? The answer is if you made an ad for an angle and then you are thinking about creating another ad, you better be doing something different, or you better be analyzing your ad and saying, hey, listen, I know this angle didn't work, but when I reviewed the execution, I felt like, and even for this example here, by me saying like your muscles aren't hungry anymore, maybe that's not clear enough. Maybe I'm confusing. So maybe I need to be more clear, right? And I'm not saying that this ad didn't work. I have no idea. This ad might crush or it might flop. And just know that 90% of the time, your ads are probably going to be losers versus winners. But my point is here is that when you're going on an angle and when you've done research on an angle specifically like this, if we're going after the specific sub-avatar of GLP-1 users, well, we need to be aware of how we're communicating to them. And then before you go and make more ads for this person, make sure you review the ads that you made before, because if they didn't work, you need to do something different. And so you'll notice at the bottom here, I also have, if I zoom in, a little text that says why cod. And here it says it's the only portable protein source on earth that has higher protein per calorie ratio than David's protein bars. Now, again, why did I write that? Because at the end of the day, David's goal is obviously to sell products that have the highest amount of protein per calorie ratio. Like that is what they optimize for. But is everybody going to want to open a tin of cod and eat it? Probably not. And so although our goal with this ad is yes, to sell the cod too, at the end of the day, what we're trying to make people aware of is that David basically competes on the same level as tinned cod.